should high schools provide free condoms to students?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, yes, and yes. Because I mean, in high school, we are at those ages, or the youth are at those ages where they want to have sex. Sometimes they want to wait. Sometimes they don't want to have sex. And I feel like if you're going to have sex, then you should be prepared before you make that decision. So I would have to say, yes, high schools, give out the condoms for free. Educate. I'm not telling you to tell them to have sex. What I'm saying is to educate them before they make that decision. Because at the end of the day, a person is going to do what they want to do regardless.
Yeah.
I can preach to you all day, and you're still going to make your own decision. So
but that's not a person though. That's underage child.
I understand that.
And for example, those are kids. And it seems like the Western world, all we do nowadays is just rap and make kids have sex with each other. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say it. That's what it seems like.
But you were in high school, right?
Yeah, I was in high school.
Okay, so in high school, if you decided that you wanted to make out or take your girl out or do whatever it is you wanted to do, you made that decision, right?
I made that decision, but I didn't put it out in the open like that. I mean, I'm sounding like a hypocrite right now. I know a lot of people will say that, but at the same time, to be so lenient to these kids, it just takes little steps, and then it gets worse and worse and worse.
But I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
What I'm
saying is that educate them and say, no, you should probably wait to have sex, because you're underage and your priorities should be in other places. But if you are going to make that decision to have sex, then I'm going to at least prepare you for safety first, meaning I'm going to give you condoms, because not only are there STDs going around, but the teen pregnancy rate is high. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day,
yes,
you can tell the person all day, no, don't have sex, wait, for this or that reason. But at least say, well, here's a condom in case you decide that that's a decision that you're going to make for yourself.
Shouldn't that be a decision that at home they could educate that child? And I know sometimes you don't educate them, or like mothers or fathers, they may not have that sex talk type thing. But where is there a line to where, as though things that should be taken care of at home should be things taken care of at home and not decided for other people to get involved in? I do agree, okay, let's teach sex education. Nothing wrong with that, but now you're giving underage children condoms. Exactly. It's like, all right, it's okay to have sex as long as you have protection.
But we're not saying it's okay though. We're saying that if that's a decision that you make, protect yourself.
So you're giving my child that I don't know condoms. Like you're giving them condoms, and then they're not telling me that they have the condoms. So
I agree with
at what point?
Okay.
Why do you agree? Much like the idiom of it takes a village to raise a child, you're not necessarily encouraging the children to have sex, but you understand that if they are going to have sex or to be intimate, that you want them to be protected.
But they're teenagers, though. Teenagers can't make any decision for themselves.
Have you seen teenagers that they're running wild? They have hormones. They have. Right. Can we discuss puberty? The idea that these kids are doing these different things.
Okay, what's the difference?
If you think about the city and impoverished living circumstances, there's so many people that have children at an underage level. You can't say because she's 16, because she's 12 or 14, she should not have a condom.
But I think the reason for that is the lack of discipline in our society.
Possibly, but we're not discussing the lack of discipline. We're discussing if condoms should be given out in high school.
That is true. And I still stand on the fact is that, again, my background, you should force these kids to do certain things. There's a reason they're called kids. Okay, adult age is 18 and to drink is 21.
Okay, but let me say this. I can send my child to school, and I can tell my child, be very respectful. I can raise you to be very respectful. Mannerisms, everything in place. But when you walk out that door, how do I really know what you're doing? I'm not with you 24 hours a day.
I'm American, but I was born in Africa, and I'm American. I'm proud to be American. But how about you guys start beating your kids? How about that in school?
Some kids do get that.
How about if after you beat your kids, then maybe they won't need a condom to do this or that.
But you're taking it somewhere else, man. Some kids.
Now hold on, because when I have a child, you beat my child, and we're gonna leave it there. You beat my child.
Let's stay on
But, I believe that if you do give the child the proper education, you give them the tools to function, you place it in their hands, yes. And unfortunate as it is, you do have teen pregnancy and you do have that lack of discipline. But if the schools are willing to give those lessons, condoms, sex education and things, there's nothing wrong with it. However, if the parent has a problem, let that parent, let that be known with that parent, and let that be something, because if you're not talking about it in your household, then maybe they're getting the information, because when you get older or when you go through puberty and stuff like that, there were certain talks I didn't want to have with my parents, or I wasn't ready to have with my parents. But when I learned in the outside world, okay, well,
but you will most of the time. I mean, that's where you get your most experience, when you go outside.
When you go outside your nest and you learn and you experience things. Now, I'm not saying that I ran rapid and was like, oh, I want this, I want that, like a hot bunny. But I'm just saying, it was like I got that education elsewhere. So I mean, I can still say that it's a good idea if you're going to pack that education, but then you have the people who are very negligent, and it doesn't matter if they get that sex education, they're going to do what they want to do.
So what you guys are saying is, and I do see a point now after you guys have explained it, but what you guys are saying is you should give these kids an option, right?
No. I can only speak for me. I know we all have different viewpoints. What I'm saying is educate them on sex education first.
In case they...
Educate them first. But a part of that education is, no, I don't want you to be going out here having sex, because it's just a no-no. However, if that is a decision that you are going to make, here's a condom. Protect yourself, because there are STDs going around, teen pregnancy, anything can happen. So at least if you're gonna do it the right way. Because at the end of the day, when these kids out here going on dates, or they going to the movies, or kikiing outside at the basketball courts or whatever, with cheerleaders, whatever have you, we don't know what they're doing in a car or when they get home and mom and pop at work and they by themselves pretty much, you don't know. So I would rather for you to have that education before you make that executive decision.
I can see that point, but...
That way, at least if you do it, you can't say, well, damn, I ain't know, because ain't nobody tell me, ain't nobody sit down and have that talk with me. At least you'll know going into it what
and you can't blame the school for...
You can't blame the school, so I applaud the schools. I think that they should offer kids free condoms, just like when you go to the barber shop. They got condoms in little containers. They do.
They do.
Some barber shops.
Some
barber. Some of them do, some of them don't.
You said not your barber. Oh, your barber need to learn about sex education.
Well, what I'm saying is,
and I'm pretty sure, and not to cut you off, I'm pretty sure when people go to the barber shop, it's all ages. Sometimes your mom or your dad, they might leave you in the barber shop and be like, I'll be back to get him in 20 or 30 because I got to run an errand. So how do you know they might not just go in the container and pull the condom out?
You know what I noticed too in school? There were certain sex education practices that a lot of people were embarrassed to even do. Like when it was applying the condom and putting it on, or learning the different parts of the vaginal canal, like different things. They would skip classes, I would notice, or they were just like, oh, today we putting condoms on? Oh, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like you were embarrassed or scared. So it's like, it's nothing to be scared of, and it's nothing to be timid of at all. You got to learn, but if you don't learn, how do you function in society and continue to make mistakes? And you're just like, well, I got somebody pregnant. It doesn't matter. I guess I'm just gonna run rapid and have baby mamas after baby mamas after baby mamas. So you really can't be like, oh, it's your ultimate decision to do what you want. Yeah, but if you're given that education, then apply it, point blank, period.
I agree. If you look, well, I'll speak on my experiences. In my elementary school, when I was in 5th grade, we were given sex ed. Just the idea of, how the body works, male, female. I think it's only appropriate that in high school that they give out condoms and that they continue to educate children and
I agree.
us on this. My parents did not talk about sex ed. They're from a different generation. They are
conservative. More.
Let's just say that. They're conservative. And so, not shade, hi mom, hi dad. But as a result, I did not get that nurturing, that explanation when I was younger.
So let me ask you this, Menlo, because you didn't get that from your parents, did you seek it somewhere else?
I just think that as I was growing up, as a teenager, having friends, pop culture, television, I learned about those.
Because ultimately you didn't have much of a choice because you didn't get it from your parents.
Not necessarily that I didn't have a choice, but as a child, if I don't receive it in one way, I'll seek for it elsewhere. Right. I think it's better to be educated, and so that we're all, even though we're underage, talking to the child, we're still individuals. We still have our own mindsets. We still have our goals, and we know what it is that we're doing. It's only imperative that we are given that option, so that we can decide what it is that we want to do. It's not fair to me to say, oh, you're a child, you're under 21, let me, choose not to give it to you at all.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
And there are late bloomers. There are. touch on that.
Shade.
But I've had.
Who we calling a late bloomer?
We'll get to that in a second.
Right.
However, I've had people, most people that I speak with, they're like, I had sex when I was like 15 to 16 to 17, on average.
Yeah.
It's rare. I don't want to say it's rare, but majority of the people who disclose the age that they've had sex, they always say that I was between like 15 and 18 for the most part.
Let me ask you guys
and
this.
I was in high school.
What does that say about, again, our society? Because if you see like Chinese schools, certain Middle Eastern schools, certain European schools, you know what their kids do? They go to school and they worry only about school because that's only their job. So why is the American kid worried about only having sex? You look at the statistics and you look at the way we're ranked in education, we're ranked all the way down there. They're ranked, those Asian kids are ranked all the way up there. Clearly they're doing something better than we. Why is this kid thinking about sex? What's going on at home? Why is he not going to school? He has like 7 different classes. Is he passing those classes? Again, it seems it's not freeing enough, but your job is to go to school.
But clearly, we know we already know that there are other things going on in the background. We know that. What you got to understand is that there are more things going on in the background. So I understand where you're coming from in terms of when you're saying education is better here, but we're not saying that they're solely focusing on sex. We're just saying that if they want to make that decision, let's educate them.
Why is that an option? Why is sex an option?
I mean, this is a real life reality.
Yeah, real life reality.
It's reality
those
though,
Asian kids, they ain't got
But how do you know them Asian kids not having sex? How do you know?
Because of the ends justifies the means,
right,
and they're ranked one, and clearly we're not.
But you're not at home. You don't go home with them. You're not going on dates with them. You don't know what they're
Wait,
doing.
clearly we should ask them what's going on at home because it's working. If they're getting beat, then maybe some of our kids need to get beat a little harder. Maybe we need.
You can still get beaten and still go out and have sex though.
Really?
Yeah.
Who? That beating must not have hurt enough for you to do that.
I don't feel like the beating justifies anything besides violence.
I'm not saying to go out there and beat your kids.
Right.
I'm just saying maybe put them in their place a little bit, okay?
Well, you can do that all day long, but again, justifying the fact that someone else is willing and able to show your child something that maybe you're not getting at home should still be something that's helpful or should still be deemed as a useful tool. So if we don't rank up to the next party, you know what, maybe you're right. We may got to do something different. I don't necessarily agree with the beatings and things of that sort, but a twisted lip every once in a while, all right, if you run your mouth. But
okay, I'll take that.
But if we don't rank up, okay, something has to happen. But if someone's going to give that education, because I didn't really have a sex talk with my parents.
Me neither.
Like, truth be told, I didn't have a sex talk, but it was like one of those things I learned on the go and I learned in school. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I may have been a late bloomer, but right. But I still learned and I took my time and I paid attention to the lessons, you know?
Yeah.
So if it comes to things being taught at home versus if schools are going to give free condoms, if you're going to give something, you better back it up and you better give all the education as possible. Don't just give them candy and expect them not to play.
That's all.
Okay, let's say I agree with you guys in a different world, of course.
Yeah, it's a different universe.
In a different universe.
No, okay, all right.
Do you trust American schools to do the right thing as in terms of educate
if you
the
want me-
white kids the same as they do with the black kids?
Come on, Fade. I mean, you get how we being treated as black people.
Exactly, that's my point.
But that's a whole.
So you're saying they're just giving us candy and letting us like rabbits? That's what you're saying?
That's my point. It's a slippery slope.
My answer is solid. I ain't changing it. It ain't changing over here. What I'm saying is that if you're going to give a student a condom, just educate them first. Now, kids, I'm not telling you to go out here and have sex. Please do not misconstrue what I am saying. What I'm telling you is, please just wait. Wait for as long as you can possibly wait. If you want to wait until you're 100, then wait. I mean, if you should live to see 100.
Okay.
I agree. If you're
being a little sarcastic, but you get the point.
If you're giving offering a sexual education class, at least you can do it off our condom too. Don't just tell me how to get to the road and then wave me goodbye. Give me.
So you get it.
It's like a gift
give me some
basket.
tools. Help me out.
Okay.
So on that note, we want you guys to be safe in everything that you do, always and forever, and enjoy the rest of your day. And parents, talk to your kids about sex. And if you don't feel comfortable with talking to them about sex, send them to somebody that will.